Welcome to Days of Play. I'm going to congratulate every one of you, whether you're here live or on the replay, on entering into your play era. I am officially calling it that for myself too. And how glorious is it that we're doing this in community together, right? Together. Again, whether we're live or watching this on replay, we're still together. We're here, we're creating a space together. So we're going to start our first microdose of play right now, okay? Everybody pick some part of your body to pretend that it's a rubber ball. Just pick one part. Pretend that part of your body is a rubber ball. Whatever can feel, it feels most like a rubber ball to you, okay? So now you're going to start to bounce that ball. Just gently. Mine's my head, clearly. I see somebody's hand. I see somebody's arm and shoulders. All right, we're bouncing that. If you want to get anything else in on the action, feel free to extend that bounciness to some other part or parts of your body. My whole feels like my whole belly is bouncing at this point. So, all right, great. So this is our first microdose of play. Nice bouncing. Yay, everybody celebrate your first microdose of play. Bouncy bounce. Bouncing was actually the first microdose that we put on our collective list of our first summer of play workshop back in May. So that's why I picked it for the first one today. And a microdose of play, I'm going to share exactly what those are in a few minutes. But first, let me share that just what we're going to do today in this 15 minutes. We're going to get in some practice with more playing, more microdoses. And it's funny that it actually does take practice sometimes. That's part of why we're doing this, because we're practicing and there's no perfection on it. If it feels weird, let it feel weird. Let that be part of the play, okay? And we're going to learn a little bit about what play and the play state are, a little bit of research stuff, just real quick. And tomorrow we'll learn why the play state and getting ourselves into it frequently is so important. On Wednesday, I'm going to announce the prize drawing. Everybody who gets to come live every day is going to get entered for the prize drawing. So you all so far are going to be entered for it. Hope to see you every single day if you can. The replays are still available. So yeah, today, like I said, we're going to learn a little bit about what play is. Let me share my screen here. And that part's not coming up. Okay. Here we go. What is play? All right. Can everybody see that? I'm having trouble finding. All right, I'm back with that. All right, there it is. You can all see what is play on your screens. Okay. And this is from the researcher Stuart Brown as part of the National, I think he founded the National Institutes of Play. And we're going to compare our play this week against this list, right? And so you can see what the things are. We freely choose it. We value the process more than the outcome, all these things. I especially want to bring out, and you'll get these resources as well, like you can look at them later. It's no need to remember them. Go ahead and let yourself just feel all this. uh, the middle one, the fourth one, I guess, that's active and alert, but non-stressed frame of mind. I just want to call that one up for a moment because that is something that is a little more challenging sometimes by the way we think of play culturally, right? So I have an example where one of my clients just a few days ago gave the example of, well, they were playing games on their phone, right? and it ended up though not making them, it did not bring them into a play state because of that middle one, active and alert but non-stressed frame of mind. My client was actually stressed as they were playing games on their phone, and they got more and more stressed, and some games that we quote unquote play are kind of designed to do that to us, unfortunately. So, and then there's also other cultural examples where we do end up with some stress with it. And so today, this week, we're going to be calling in the types of play. There's short play games on your phone sometimes too, and we also need the types of play that hit all these buttons, right? That hit all of these buttons of being freely chosen. They remove us from everyday life. They suspend our sense of time. We want to call all that in. And we also are going to be looking at the types of play, different types of play. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but it's some ways that we all play differently. Some of them probably seem pretty obvious, right? Like object play. Obviously, we play with toys sometimes. Imagination, we often think of culturally as play. Moving our bodies when we were bouncing our bodies. That felt pretty playful. Also, the celebration and ritual, which is at the bottom of there, we don't often think of that as play, but it can bring us those kind of things into a play state. So I'm just going to ask us to do, well, another little microdose, right? Something that we don't think of, that we might not think of as play. It relates to my favorite form of play. Well, I'm going to say this first. I'm going to show you this. Microdoses. Why are we doing that, right? We are doing that because we're building our play momentum. So I showed you that there was bouncing that we did the first time. There's swinging. That's one of my big ones. And I'm going to call on somebody to pick an easy one of these microdoses and we'll try it. And we can also find a way to modify it. So if it seems challenging, whatever one you pick, then we'll try another way to do it. Okay. We're going to give ourselves an extra challenge. So let's see. If you can say pass if I call on you and you truly do not want to do that, don't want to pick a microdose, but I'm gonna call on somebody who I know will go ahead and pick. Kinga. Would you like to pick a microdose that we can all try right now and try to modify?
Okay. So I can just pick anything off of this list.
Yeah, or if you think of one that's easy for us to do on your own, go for it.
Yeah. Let's do doodling. I like to
Doodling.
doodle.
Okay, this is great to modify. Okay, maybe some of us have a pen here. Maybe some of us have a pencil and paper, right? Maybe some of us don't. I'm so glad you picked that one. If you don't have a pen or pencil, don't go get one. Just go ahead, take your finger, doodle in the air, right? Draw something in there. We do have some markers. I'm seeing those on the screen. We do have some stuff like that. And if you don't have one, doodle yourself something in the air. Okay. I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna just be like, I'm doing it with what's on my finger, what's on my fingertips, so to speak. So here we go. I'm gonna doodle something. Kinga, do you mind if I ask you what you're doodling?
I'm doing a palm tree.
A palm tree, perfect. I doodled a sun. Anybody else want to share what they're doodling? Go ahead and just unmute yourself and share.
I'm doing flower power.
Flower power. All right, flower power added to our play power. Great. Oh, thank you so much for that. And so now just take a couple moments, right? Uh to jot down two more things that on either remember it in your head or remember to make to look at this list later of two more things that you might do as microdoses of play for the rest of today. Okay. All right. And back to that types, I do encourage you back to that types of play, right? I do encourage you to think in different ways. For example, Bonita the other day, a friend who is registered for this Days of Play and told me that I could totally share this about her. She was feeling the rain on her face and that brought her to a play state. So think outside the box of what we usually think of with play. So here we go. I'm just going to stop sharing this and I'm going to show us our workbook. First, I'll put it in the link to it in the chat. And I'm just going to overview what we're going to do for the next few days. You can do it in the workbook. You can do it outside of the workbook, as long as you kind of hit the buttons of it, I guess. hit all the moments. So the workbook is just a 5-day thing. And oh, it's not letting me bring it up when that window's open. Here we go. Okay. This workbook is called My Play, My Way, because really what we're doing is understanding that we each have different play preferences. We each have different ways of thinking that help us and being, I guess, being in the world that help us to play. So this workbook, I'm going to scroll down to the first page of it, right? My Play, My Way, section 1, my quick check. We can just do this real quick. Which play mood are you having today? Put it in the chat. The explorer, the performer, the dreamer, the creator, the rebel, and you can make up your own. You can play around with your own if you want to, okay? You feel very free to do that, please. So go ahead and put that in the chat as I go on and kind of overview what else we're going to do. I see creator already over there from Kinga. Thank you. The next thing that you can do is make a menu, right? Sometime tonight. Here's some more ideas of microdoses of play that you can bounce from. Make a menu of your microdoses that you're going to work with all week, and give yourself, like it said on the slide before, give yourself 3 of them or more every day. Let them take 5 minutes or less. So some examples you can see here. This is in the workbook that's in the link. So you don't have to, again, remember them all or write them down right now. Was there a question? Okay. Sometimes I do go kind of fast and don't leave time for questions, but I will in one moment. And so then, yeah, the third page is the play diary, right? You just kind of like write out what we're going to do that for the first 3 days. You're going to figure out what your play mood are. It's going to be helping us figure out what your play preferences are as we build on this each day. The 4th day is all about reflection and writing ourselves a permission slip to play, but don't do that yet. Just go ahead and give yourself the permission slip of just 3 microdoses. Let's make it easy. And then the 3rd day, or the last day, I will invite you. Well, I might invite you on Wednesday too, but to my community, and that we will have support and everything for ourselves in playing beyond this week. So let me stop that share, and let me ask if there's any questions so far. We're almost done with today. This is almost our 15 minutes. Okay. All right, then I just have one more little note. In the workbook, there is a link to book an interview with me about the community. I'm going to say, though, don't book that interview just yet. Okay, before you join it, first, you're going to connect with yourself and your play preferences, at least over the next couple of days. Your play, your way. I want you first to feel like what it's like to support each other in practicing play in this community that we're creating here first this week. And then later in the week, you can jump into our community. I'll offer you a special membership rate and bonuses that will get your play era jump started really fast. So some of us have just coming off of our summer of play within the community, and we've had some big changes through that summer. And I'll share some of those real changes that some of us have experienced in our summer of play tomorrow. So that's it for today. Have fun with your microdoses. I'm just gonna look in the chat real quick to see if there's any. Oh, there is a question in the chat. Does moving the lawn count as a hike around the mowing the lawn? Yeah, absolutely. If you put yourself into that play state, whenever you're evaluating what counts, right? Look at the list, and even if it's something you don't usually think of as play, you might be able to make it play somehow, right?
That's
You
right.
might turn it into play. So yes. Great.
Yeah, I met mowing, but also joking
Yeah.
around for me.
All right. Thank you, Kinga. And there we go. And I see, yes. Thank you, Kinga. Thank you, Lydia, for writing your Just for Fun list yesterday. And thanks everybody for being here. I will stay around for questions, but I'm going to stop the recording now.